So while 2020 has been a difficult year for most of us, it has been an exceptional year for Elon Musk. Since January, his wealth has rose from 22 billion to 143 billion of dollars. And in fact, he was the billionaire who saw the greatest gain of the year, becoming the second richest man ahead of Bill Gates. And the question that everyone is asking is how far Elon Musk's wealth can grow. Can he become the number one fortune of the world? Will Elon Musk overtake Jeff Bezos? So Bezos and Musk represent two different kinds of models. And for the first one, his strategy is essentially based on a single group, Amazon. And the sales strategy of the second one is based on the parallel development of several companies, including Tesla, SpaceX, Hyperloop, Boeing Company, Neuralink, and OpenAI. So Musk's fortune is mainly divided between his shares in Tesla, which is about 20% of the company, and in SpaceX, about 48%. His incredible rise is explained by a stock value increase of these two companies during this year. As of January 2020, the Tesla market cap was about $100 billion. In December 2020, the company market cap was increased by 600%, about $616 billion, which represents the combined valuation of Ford, GM, and Fiat Chrysler. It should be noted that in 2018, Tesla shareholders approved a long-term strategy consisting of 12 milestones in terms of market cap and 16 operational milestones in terms of revenues. The plan specifies that if Musk achieve all of these goals, he could earn another 50 billion. Initially, this project was to make Tesla a trillion company by reaching the cap of $650 billion in 2028. And as you can see, almost all of these goals have been achieved in less than 2 years instead of 10. Although he owns 1 billion stake in Google through a pre-IPO investment, Jeff Bezos' wealth is mostly focused on the main company he founded, Amazon. When he created Amazon in 1994, the company quickly attracted the interest of investors, and when the company went public, his fortune reached $12 billion. His success was so impressive that in 1999, Times Magazine awarded him the award for Personality of the Year. But Amazon took a hit with the dot-com bubble, and until 2009, Amazon market cap didn't increase much. It was only after this last decade that Amazon stock experienced a spectacular increase in the 2010s. In 2015, his wealth was about 50 billion, and on the evening of his divorce, it was about 136 billion for 58 million of Amazon shares, which represents 12% of the company. By the way, he also owns a company specializing in space travel, Blue Origin. So what are the Elon Musk strengths in concrete terms? What are the growth levers that can enable it to become the world's leading fortune? So let's take a look at the recent achievements and upcoming promises of each Elon Musk companies. So let's start with Tesla, which is probably the most advanced company today. In addition to the fact that the production of electric vehicles emits less greenhouse gases and protects our environment, it also helps to reduce fuel consumption, which represents about $2,000 per year for an average household in the US. Tesla seeks to disrupt the passenger car market and the road transport industry. We can note that for a semi-trailer, it can consume about $200,000 per year. So the Tesla main promise is to sell relatively affordable vehicles while saving money on their operations. But what is probably the most advanced revolutionary asset is Autopilot, a software based on artificial intelligence and an advanced sensor system available as standard on all new models. Autopilot is a sophisticated software capable of driving your vehicles from point A to point B without any human intervention. It can work on any road network as long as it has a satellite connection. Of course, other competitors have been working on it for many years, but Tesla is the only automaker capable of bringing this technology into production. In addition to the fact that this technique will revolutionize the way we travel, it can disrupt other industries such as taxis or ride-sharing apps like Uber or Lyft. Indeed, most of the time, a car is parked in your garage. And with this system, Tesla plans to create a self-driving taxi network owned by individuals that could compete with Uber. You just need to add your vehicle to the global network through an app, and that's it. Your vehicle works for you. Indeed, Musk promises up to $35,000 per year for each vehicle as revenue. The Musk's second most advanced project is SpaceX, which is an aerospace company whose project is to send 1 million of humans to Mars by 2050. This might sound huge in 2003 when the company was founded, but Musk quickly identified the main obstacles to space travel: the reusability of the launchers. And it's on the reusability of its rockets that SpaceX has mainly focused its research. Concretely, the reusability of its rockets allows SpaceX to revolutionize the satellite launch market. Over the past few years, the average cost of operating a rocket has been $18,000 per kilogram, whereas with the Falcon 9, its standard launcher, it has dropped to $2,750. By comparison, the operation of the space shuttle cost $1.5 billion per launch. But the main sector SpaceX could disrupt is probably the telecommunications sector, thanks to its Starlink project, a very high-speed satellite internet network. By creating a network of 12,000 satellites, it would provide a very high-speed network, even in the most remote regions of the planet. This network would be made possible precisely thanks to its affordable launch costs. So there are few other projects that Musk is actively working on, such as Hyperloop, Boeing Company, Neuralink, or OpenAI. And most of these projects are still at the experimental stage. So we are not going to dwell on the economic outlook, but we are going to address the major milestones they have hit. So the first company is Hyperloop, a transport system in which capsule would be thrown at very high speed in low pressure tunnel and powered by a magnetic linear accelerator. In theory, the project can reach up to 750 miles per hour. This would potentially make it possible to compete with air routes or high-speed lines. This project is still at the experimental stage, even though Virgin Hyperloop, a competitor, managed to reach the speed of 107 miles per hour in November 2020. So the next company is the Boeing Company, which is a company aiming to disrupt the tunnel construction market by constructing safe, fast-to-dig, and low-cost tunnels. For a 1-mile tunnel, the cost can vary between $100 million and $1 billion. The objective is to bring the cost down to just $10 million. For this, Musk wants to rely on the main factor that increases the cost and time of building a tunnel: its diameter. The goal is to reduce the size of the tunnel to 14 feet, where on the average it can reach 25 feet or more. The healthcare industry is also an industry Musk plans to disrupt through his company Neuralink, which wants to connect human brains. We will not discuss the economic and ethical impact that such a technology could have, but a notable achievement of the company was published in September 2020, where a team of researchers managed to implant a chip connected to electrodes in the brain of a pig, managing to scan the animal's brain activity in real time. The last area in which Musk recently rose to prominence, indirectly through his foundation OpenAI, confronted with Sam Altman from Y Combinator. OpenAI aims to make artificial intelligence accessible to as many people as possible. In June 2020, OpenAI released the most advanced artificial intelligence algorithm to date, named GPT-3. Training the model cost around $4 million and took a total of 355 years. GPT-3 literally allows you to converse with the machine in human language. The applications of GPT-3 are very numerous and can be really impressive, such as chatbot, text generation, semantic search, and etc. So now, before looking at the Elon Musk disadvantages, let's focus on the Jeff Bezos strength. If we consider Amazon just as a book-selling website, or more generally as an e-commerce website, it would be difficult to understand the real reason of the success of Amazon. Because at the heart of the strategy of Amazon is to be the most efficient distribution channel to link makers and consumers, and it doesn't just stop to the logic of e-commerce. Actually, the Amazon empire tends to expand into new markets. So one of them is cloud computing market with Amazon Web Service. Cloud computing allows you to outsource a company's IT infrastructure to a third-party service like AWS. AWS is the first company that allowed to distribute its infrastructure to third-party companies. It dominates the cloud computing market with 33% of the market. Then, Amazon revolutionized the book market with Amazon Kindle, an electronic reader. Kindle is to books what iPod is to music. Again here, the revolution comes from distribution where, thanks to the marketplace, you no longer need to go to the bookstore to read your book. But Amazon wants to get into the habits of users, get close as possible to the consumers with its virtual assistant, Amazon Alexa, and its device, Amazon Echo. Alexa allows users to control devices in their home, listen to music, follow the news, check the weather, without having to use their hands. One of the reasons that may lead us to buy from Amazon instead of another merchant site is its delivery service, Amazon Prime. Once again, it's based on its distribution channel that Amazon stands out, which can rely on 175 warehouses. An interesting feature of Prime are the dash buttons, because it always goes further in the distribution logic. Dash buttons are electronics buttons that you can put up in your kitchen and that allow you to automatically order items. A final example which illustrates this desire to control its distribution network from its warehouses to the consumer is Prime Air. Indeed, Amazon has its own airline fleet to supply its warehouses around the world. And to reduce the delivery time to 30 minutes, Amazon even went so far as to develop a self-driving drone delivery service, which was licensed in September 2020 from the FAA. As we have seen, what sets Jeff Bezos apart is that all of his activities are focused on just one goal. It is because it has tackled an issue in every possible way that Amazon is becoming a major key player for consumers. And it is therefore difficult for consumers to avoid Amazon's regardless of their affinity with the brand. So probably the Bezos' biggest failure was the Amazon's Fire Phone. So back in 2014, Bezos planned to compete with Apple by making a brand new smartphone. Actually, it was a total failure, a total mistake. By making a brand new and making a high-end smartphone required to reposition the Amazon's branding as premium brand, which is not so easy. So overnight, few minor connections between his companies, we can say that Elon Musk's activities strengthen his position. They are to be taken separately. That does not take away the fact that all of his companies are at the forefront of their domain. So however, the main limitation to the growth of Elon Musk companies is the size of their own market. For example, the Japanese manufacturer Toyota represents about 10% of global car market. And in 2019, the Toyota turnover was about $288 billion. In the same year, the Tesla turnover was $24 billion, while the Tesla market cap is $600 billion against $200 billion for Toyota. So even though Tesla is experiencing an exponential growth in revenue and has key patents in the car of the future, managing and scaling its growth in order to compete with the leaders of your markets is not an easy task. It cannot be ruled out that Tesla can take an advantage of its valuation in order to absorb one of its competitors, which is more used to mass production. In any case, as we just come to see, it is possible that in the near future that we no longer need to own vehicles, and this will make for Tesla the growth prospects almost near. So in conclusion, the first thing that we can say is that both of them are remarkable entrepreneurs. They don't operate the same way, sure, but they are impressive by their ability to make things happen. Of course, we can know what will happen in the long run, but based on the current facts, I would say that Jeff Bezos is still one step ahead from Elon Musk as he continues to pursue his strategy. But I won't bury Elon Musk, as we saw that he has real levers for growth with projects like Starlink or Tesla-based Uber app. The key to success for Elon Musk would be his ability to connect the dots between his different businesses, and yes, if he succeeds, then he could overtake Jeff Bezos.